What is up, fellow renegades across the interwebs? Before we begin the video, as always, I want to give a big shout out to our most recent Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Extinction Team 75, Jacques from Wetteren, Lily Panda, Apprentice, Coma Blitz, Kid Cypher, Sea Raccoon, Aaron White, Gregory B, Fiat Voltus Mea, Joseph Dungan, Chris Andrews, Sean McLaughlin, Mariner, Boy, Mage Click, Snowy, Zachzon666, Cursing Throne 92, Ali Mocha, Duncan, Dimitri Theodosakis, Lily Panda, HEV Mark IV, Jesse the Educator, Austin Hall, Ethan Davis, Commander Nom Nom, Corbin, Ethan Kuyoth, and as always, I want to give a shout out to our executive producer, Bevan Brummett. Thank you all very much for your support. If you want to become a Patreon supporter, feel free to click the link in the description to find out more. We'll see you there. Good job! See what happens? See what happens when you're stupid? See what happens? Ah! National security! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! No! Let me out of the box! Daddy, please let me out of the box! I'm stuck! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! I'm stuck up here! I'm stuck up here! Look! 13 years. I want everyone to really, put that into perspective. 13 years ago, the first Avatar movie came out. And by Avatar, I mean James Cameron's Avatar. I don't mean Avatar The Last Airbender or M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender. So, Avatar, The Way of Water, the sequel, the long-awaited sequel, which feels like we've been waiting forever for this film.
Unfortunately, about 10 years is about the amount of time where I just kind of stopped caring.
Well,
now I have, zero hype for the sequel.
Well, honestly, I had zero hype for the first Avatar when I heard it was coming out, if I'm being honest. I mean, I went in with zero expectations, and I came out actually a pretty decent fan of it. I would say I gave the film an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Now, over time, my opinion has softened a bit, and I still give it an 8 out of 10. But it's because of the obvious plot points that, to me, at the time, I didn't notice. For instance, it's just Dances with Wolves in space. And
I was told it was Pocahontas.
Not really, because Pocahontas is basically the natives don't win in that particular story, whereas Dances with Wolves, the natives win. In the story, not in the long run, but in the story, the natives win. And also, it's complete opposite. Instead of it being, Pocahontas basically forsaking her tribe and going into white culture. Instead, this would be if John Smith forsake all of the English and basically became a native. But in Dances with Wolves, it was basically the same thing. Kevin Costner was taken in by the native tribe, and he fell in love with a woman who was also taken in by the natives, and basically it was a very... Dances with Wolves is a very long movie, but I think in terms of Plains, American Indian life, I think it portrays it very well.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing. People were like, it's Pocahontas, and I was like, don't exactly remember Pocahontas going like that, but pop off, I guess.
Well, people can say if it's like Pocahontas, but I feel more story parallels with Dances with Wolves than I do Pocahontas, which... also, the thing with it is technology... Think of the leap in technology we've had over the last 12, 13 years.
One of the main reasons I even liked the first movie was just because it was the coolest 3D film I had seen at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back to watch it again just because I wanted to see the 3D effects again. And if they're going to do 3D with this one, then maybe I'll be a little bit excited to go see it.
That's what they're doing. They're bringing the 3D back, and they're basically expanding the scope to an unbelievable level, which, I mean, they're fully exploring more of Pandora. You see, as far as we've seen, we've only seen like a small square of space on Pandora. We haven't seen like the whole world of Pandora. So I guess with this we're going to see exactly what James Cameron like he wanted to do, like more scope and scale with the first film, but had to scale it back for storytelling purposes. Now he has free reign to do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, when your film is the highest grossing film of all time for a time, I think Avengers of Endgame eventually passed it up, but when you are responsible for 2 out of 3 of the highest grossing films of all time, I basically, like, I wouldn't be surprised if at any point they were just like, hey, Jim, you can literally make whatever film you want and we will advertise it, and as long as you give us a cut of it, we'll be happy. And he's like, all right, whatever. $500 million later, and we get this film and then the third film, which is going to be coming out 2 years from now, which, very interesting. Anyway, this is Avatar: The Way of Water, official teaser. Let's see what happens. Or let's see what James Cameron's cooking. Sorry. Had to kick it up to 1080. Oh. Looks even better. Wow. Visually, that is, like... Now I can... Again, you know, when James Cameron said, for him, back when he first thought of this film in the 90s, he said it would be impossible to make. And I understood whenever we watched Avatar in 2009. And now, seeing where we are with technology and what is possible... Again, just in terms of pure visual splendor, I think that was one of the most beautifully filmed environment, or like 3D rendered environments I've ever seen. And like
it reminds me of current video games a lot.
To a certain extent, yes, but at the same time, in terms of how the visual style is, it's more reminiscent of old school filmmaking with their shots and everything, but with the technology that's available, it's unbelievable what they were able to pull off there. And also, like, films that use a predominant CG environment, like the first Avatar, and also another film that a lot of people slept on when it first came out, but eventually it took over. It was that one with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney in space. I love that film because me and my mom watched it in theaters, and it was friggin' amazing. Hold on, my brain. I'm gonna kick myself for forgetting about it, but this is how my brain works. Every now and again, my brain just like derps something straight out that should stay there forever.
Welcome to every day for me.
Yeah. Gravity. That's it. Yeah. And this was filmed in a complete CG, like 3D, like fully rendered environment.
Yeah, I heard some decent stuff about that.
It's amazing. It has one of the best portrayals of like space, like the vastness of space and like the true scope and scale, and as far as humans are concerned. And there's physics stuff about it that doesn't make sense, and Neil deGrasse Tyson actually pointed those out. But still, a tremendous film, and probably my favorite film involving like low atmosphere space travel, like as far as we've come thus far, that I've ever seen. And again, it's Lubezki doing his thing, which he's always been one of my favorite cinematographers. And
basically, I think this is going to be the same thing as with the first one. If it's like that, it's like I just got to get in the theater and see it in 3D, because that's really probably the thing I'm going to appreciate the most about it, if they do such a good job with the 3D again.
Well, 3D, this
3D was always a gimmick, and
for
there's
most
so
films,
many
yes.
movies where they threw the 3D in as just a gimmick, and it was like, all right, that was okay, but it's like this is the one film where it's like the 3D didn't feel gimmicky. It was like it gave life to the film.
I would say there were 4 films I can definitely say 100% 3D was not a gimmick, and it was fully utilized with its complete capabilities. This, How to Train Your Dragon in 3D, How to Train Your Dragon 2 in 3D.
Which I never got to see either of those in theaters. So.
Which, if they ever do like a classic cinema thing and they offered like the 3D stuff with it, I think that I would be like ecstatic to go and watch those again in 3D. And the last one, which I did not expect, and when my friend told me to go watch it with her, I was like, I really don't know how I feel about it. Hugo, which was a film that was directed by Martin Scorsese, and it's actually like a very interesting film about like the history of filmmaking, and it's set in like the Paris train station, and it's a mix between like Willy Wonka and Oliver Twist. It's really, really good. Anyone out there, I definitely recommend it.
I think the second best 3D I saw, and it was on a pretty shitty movie, was probably on the Alice and the
Through the Looking Glass.
I think so. I think that
the second one. Yeah. The second
like
one,
it had really cool 3D effects and stuff, but the movie was just meh.
Yeah, most films they tack on the 3D just for the additional like ticket revenue, and I hate that. I hate when movies do that just so they can say, "Oh, it's in 3D, so it cost you $3 extra." It's like,
but
no.
then just in terms of the rendered environments and stuff, I'll still say Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets was the most awesome looking shitty movie I've ever seen.
I will agree with that. I will agree with that. Again,
like, it was a trash movie, but the visuals were kick ass.
Louis Leterrier,
environments and stuff were just
Luc Besson is
next level stuff. But
Luc Besson once again proving visually he is such a great filmmaker, but narratively he is so bankrupt as a creator. I'm sorry. I like Luc Besson. Like, I know people are going to suck his dick for The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element's a great film.
I've even still heard The Fifth Element just has some really bad story.
Narrative-wise, me and my dad said the exact same thing, but you know what the thing about the film was? It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Everything about that film was filmed so perfectly. The sets, the costumes, the characters, the monsters, everything was so good, but then the story got in the way.
Yeah, that dude needs to get together with some good storytellers and just take over the visual side of things.
Well, and then Luc Besson. Well, that's the thing. Luc Besson, like, he's been basically his own solo storyteller after Leon. Don't know if you ever seen it, Leon the Professional, back in '94. That's his best film by far, because it's very well done narrative-wise, and it is also very stylistically beautiful, like all of his other films. It's just he actually had someone working with him to tell the story. Yeah. And you see what happens? You see what happens when you actually have someone who knows what the hell they're doing in terms of story writing?
When you work together with people who can make up for your
make up for your
shortcomings, and
yes.
you can put your strengths together. You can get really cool stuff. 'Cause I still kind of, I'm under the suspicion that Filoni and Favreau work best together as well. After seeing the Book of Boba Fett being, you know,
subpar,
a bunch of Favreau by himself, and then Filoni coming in for the end of it and kind of making the end of it a lot better than the beginning of it.
Yeah, this film right here is just, I love this movie so much. Leon,
have to check it out somehow.
Yeah, Leon the Professional. I recommend it to anyone out there who has not, who is into like it's a healthy dose of just like great storytelling and also just such good style. But anyway, we're going to move on, everyone. That was Avatar, The Way of Water. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Peace.